Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining our session today. My name is Pai Boon.
My name is Edison. Nice to meet all of you.
Yeah, nice to meet all of you. Thank you for joining our sessions here today. We just want to check if you guys can hear and see us. Can you like chat back to us to see if you can listen and see us? So actually, there is the chat box on the right hand side. So maybe you can reply and tell us if you can hear us. Okay, cool.
Cool.
So yeah, maybe we're gonna wait for a few more minutes, and we're gonna start our session off. Okay. So today, welcome to Build What's Next with Google Cloud Platform. We are very happy to host this event for you all. So we are from the Google Cloud Platform team, and we are very happy to give you introductions of what is Google Cloud Platform and how can it benefit the developers, the business in Southeast Asia and in APAC. Okay, so yeah, if you guys are in already, please feel free to chat back to us. Okay, and so that we can know that you can hear us. Okay, if you just join in, you can look in the on the top left corner. There's gonna be a lot of icon, and the top one is the chat. Okay, so you can click on that chat button on the top left corner and chat back to us. Okay. 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 Cool. So yeah. So I think let's keep like 1 more minute, and then we're gonna start off the sessions.
Great.
Yeah. So today is a very good day, isn't it?
Yes.
February 29. We only have this day once in every 4 years.
Exactly.
Is it? Yeah. So hope everyone is enjoying the last day of February today, a very special day. Okay, so cool. So I think we would like to hit off the session now. Okay, so yeah. Okay. So hi. My name is Pai Boon.
My name is Edison. Nice to meet all of you.
Yeah, nice to meet all of you. Again, so today we're gonna talk about build what's next with Google Cloud Platform. So in the next 40 to 50 minutes, we're gonna walk you through of the solutions that we provide in the Google Cloud Platform. Okay. Now let's, if everyone's ready, let's go ahead and let's go into our materials today. Okay, so basically today we're gonna talk about this is the agenda for today. We're gonna walk you through the evolutions of cloud computing and what makes Google Cloud Platform different from others. Okay, after we study about what is the difference between us and other providers, then we can walk you through of some of the features that we have in the GCP. Okay, and I really want to show you the overview of the big data solutions that we provide, okay? Because this is the key for the business that run on the cloud, okay? And then we're gonna give you some the demonstrations on GCP, okay? And we're gonna focus on the big data, okay? All right. Okay, cool. So I think today, I think it's fair to say that cloud computing is quickly becoming mainstream. Okay, some have called it a new normal, but however it turns and everyone seems to agree that whether you are developers or startups or established business, you can no longer be competitive without the cloud. It represents opportunities that simply weren't possible in the legacy on-premise world. Okay, so there has been an incredible amount of digital disruption across every sectors in the last 5 years. So it's great time to be a developers, and you are truly the magic makers of the modern age. Okay, so when we look at these slides, okay, what I'm going to tell you here. So the consumer expectation have shifted toward a new generation of companies that have not only reinvented the user's experience, but have focused on enabling users with solutions that make it easier to get things done. Consider the following in the last 5 years. First one, Uber has emerged as the world's largest taxi company, and they don't even own any vehicles. Okay? Facebook is the world's most popular media owner, and they don't even create a single content. Okay. Airbnb is the world's largest accommodation provider. They're bigger than any the top four hospitality providers in combined, and they don't even own any real estates. Okay. And on the right one, Alibaba is the world's most valuable retailer, and they don't own the inventory at all. Okay. Now, so next one, we just announced last week. We are very excited to announce that Spotify, one of the world's most famous music players on the internet, has chosen to run on GCP. Okay, so they have about 2 million playlists, 30 million songs, and 75 million users. Okay, and run purely on the cloud. Okay. Now, we have seen this 3-generation shift in the past few decades, from mainframe through the age of PCs, and now we are into the world of cloud by the way of extension mobile. Okay, the cloud and the mobile world it's the one that we feel very comfortable in. Okay, we have seen many businesses have born in the cloud. Okay, this shift brings huge benefits to customers. Being able to reduce costs, rapidly build and run and scale applications, and build companies from scratch with no upfront cost. Okay, so when people think about Google, you probably think of this simple homepage, a logo and a text field and a few buttons. When some text and in the few hundred milliseconds, you got the answer. Okay. But actually, when we think of Google, okay, we think of this: the infrastructures, the networks and data centers, servers, all designed to enable developers to build innovative software and services. Okay, and the reasons we had to build all of this is because when we started back then, about 17 years ago, the technology we needed simply didn't exist. So we need to build everything from scratch ourselves. And as you can see, having built that infrastructures, it also enabled us to build new products like Gmail, Maps, YouTube, and Chrome. Okay, in many ways, this infrastructures has been the key for us to move quickly and to take on the ambitious challenges and goals. Okay, and of course, it's not just building infrastructures. It's also about developing the experience required. Along the way, we learn what works, but we also learn what doesn't work. While we were doing this, there was a massive wave of challenging happens across other industries. Okay, so in this market, all of us, including Google, we all face the same challenge: how to create a better software and better and faster software. Okay, if this isn't your concern, I think you probably wouldn't be sitting in the audience today. We all wanted to understand how can we build a better software and faster software. Today, consumer expects more with every passing month, right? The apps should be consistently improving with exciting new features. Apps should be consistently and globally accessible, right? There's a research. The research has shown that the delays in page loads or the apps, the speed of the apps, it will adversely impact the user's experience, and they might run for the exits. Okay, so they might not use your apps at all. So it's better for the software to work better and faster as the time goes by. Okay, imagine Um, how many of you have abandoned the purchase because of the bad user experience? Okay, and do you go back or even give the second chance to that providers? I guess not, right? So better software means better connection with customers, employees, and business partners. Faster means faster than the competitors. So the software ability to create magic from the data is the new competitive frontiers. Okay, that we're gonna discuss today on how GCP can help you realize that solutions.
So how did cloud started? So it started with co-location, first wave co-location, some call it colo, renting space for servers, switches, and storage arrays in someone else's data center. So what we call cloud today, on-demand, self-administered virtual data centers grew out actually from this model. So what does second wave means? It means that you're constantly asking, do we have enough servers? Do they have enough memory? Are we paying too much? Or is our storage fast enough? Is it secure? In a virtualized data center model that most people think of as cloud, this never gets easier at all. So ironically, the more successful an app is, the more infrastructure concerns eat up time and energy. So we used to use second wave cloud inside Google up until about 10 years ago. So our business was built using the same virtualized data centers that people call cloud today. But we realized our business couldn't scale fast enough. So unless we reduce the complexity of that model. So we had to reinvent everything about how we build, deploy, and run softwares on our cloud to be able to manage that complexity out of the equation. So today we use third wave cloud, a combination of automated services and scalable data. So this approach let our developers code without thinking about infrastructure. Consequently, Google Cloud Platform customers do a lot less unproductive infrastructure work. So at the end of the day, it's not about having enough machines, cables, and disks. It's also about having the right approach and simplifying complexity. So Google Cloud Platform fits in nicely to bridge the second wave of cloud with the third wave. So most organizations are actually still working in the virtualized server of the second wave. So GCP, Google Cloud Platform in short, lets you build out from your existing investments to take advantage of new technologies like containers, platform as a service, and horizontal scalable data, all while taking advantage of the same infrastructure that we are using. So using this approach, organizations can now achieve unprecedented software developer productivity, while at the same time improving performance and reducing costs of running existing applications. So Google Cloud Platform GCP is really broad. We have more than 20 services now. So we're exposing capabilities via REST, CLI, console. So we've externalized the best that we are using in application runtime services, the best we are using in data services, and of course, the best that we are using in foundation, infrastructure, and operations as seen in this slide. So this is the very big and crucial question. So how are all these different? So I would say that we are profoundly different because it was built to run our business and it should be able to run your business as well. So let me share a few ways.
Yeah. So we have seen that, in the industry right now, there are so many cloud providers. Okay. So how are we gonna, understand which one suits our solution and which one actually offer the true values of the cloud? So yeah, so we will walk you through of what are the key metrics that you need to consider when you want to move from the on-premise to cloud, and what is the true value of cloud?
Great. So moving on to cloud, the big question that we should always be asking ourselves is, we want to change, how are you going to change how we compute and, not just moving the cloud, but how are you going to do it? So in the first box, we talk about taking control of costs. So the questions we need to ask ourselves is, will moving to cloud give you more control and visibility in your IT expenses? Are you able to ensure you don't overpay or have to over provision? And then second box, understanding our options. Are you getting boxed into technology that will become out of date? So how can you future-proof your architecture and operations? And very importantly, will moving to cloud make you faster? And in the third box, security, will moving to cloud improve your overall information security and reduce overall risk? Is compliance going to be easier or harder? These are very important questions.
Okay.
So Google Cloud Platform, don't just move your workloads, change how you're going to work. So in the first column for GCP, you only pay for what you use. There are no lock-in contracts. We don't force over provision and overpayment. So your resources are very dedicated to what you are using. Secondly, we help you flex and change. So from pricing to maintenance to upgrading to operations, GCP is designed to let you flex your business to changing situations. And we know change is constant and in fact accelerating. And thirdly, it gives you access to one of the software industry's most prolific innovation factories. So from AI to application development, Google has released a stream of innovations that you can use to change how you do business. Last but not least, it reduces your risk. So how? By providing better reliability, better availability, and giving you the predictability and visibility you need to reduce implementation risk.
Okay.
Great. So because our infrastructure provides critical support to millions of businesses and individuals around the globe on a daily basis, we've really got a chance to refine and simplify our service and reduce risk throughout GCP. So our goal is that when you transition your workloads to us, it should help you reduce overall risk, avoid creating risk, and of course, improve your overall IT efficiency. So example, talking about true economics. So these are some of the ways that we are defining in true economics is one, per minute pricing means you only pay for what you use. Competing cloud providers out there might be charging you for hours or monthly. So secondly, automated discounts, unused discounts pay you back for using our services. So we don't require you to commit upfront to receive discounts or perks that you can get from us. Last but not least, recently we have released something that is really interesting and important for business users. So it's custom machine types. So it gives you, it lets you design the right amount of computer for your workload rather than being forced to specific configurations provided by us. So you can say that I want something that of this core, of certain RAM size, and these are some of the ways that you can customize.
Okay, so you mean for the automatic discount, the longer we use, the more discount we get. Is that correct?
Yes, that is essentially right. So the more you use in a month, the more discount we will kick in. So at a maximum of, I think, about 30%. So we want to make sure that the heavy users benefit from this structure as well.
Okay, so there are no contract with GCP. You can stop the workload anytime you like. There's no such contract like 1 year, 3 years.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
So when you feel that your project is ending, you just end off in a console. So you don't have to pre-warn us or give us things or let us know in advance. So that's really flexible. Great. So we future-proof our infrastructure every day. So I think we are the only cloud provider that supports live migration. What does it mean? So it means that your upgrades are smooth and so are ours. So no more planned downtime that you need to work around. So we can upgrade the hardware and software app users, and neither you nor your customers will ever know. So this has really been a technology secret behind our great products like Gmail, Maps. They're always up and running. So live migration has been really the main reason behind all this.
Okay, so it means that whenever let's say Google needs to change the hard disk or change the servers, I don't need to worry about, okay, my server is going to go down. So Google will automatically migrate my workload onto some machines seamlessly.
Exactly, as seamlessly as it can be. So this is a technology that we are working very hard, and we are the only cloud provider that has this at the moment.
Okay.
Great. So last but not least, because we know that future performance gains will be driven by IOPS and network bandwidth, we've invested in building our Google's own private network. So we are now the world's largest ISP and on our 5th generation of networking hardware and software. So more specifics, bisectional bandwidth for our network is actually 1 petabyte per second, equivalent of hundreds of millions of people streaming 4K HD video simultaneously. So getting access to innovation. So we are leading the industry with innovation in container orchestration, databases, analytics, and machine learning. And we've created and invested in open alternatives to our innovations so that you can use them without fear of vendor lock-in. If you want to use any other cloud provider, you can pick up your software and go somewhere else. So it's really flexible, and you get access to all the latest things that you want.
I think especially we are leading in the innovation in space in terms of recently we have just announced that the Vision API will be in beta, so you can use the engines that we use to analyze the image. Okay, those kind of innovations we always externalize them to the users. And imagine if you can use that Vision API, there are much more of business opportunities that can bring on to the table. Okay, so I'm really looking forward to see all kind of new startups that may come from that they utilize this kind of Vision APIs. It's going to be the next wave coming up. Yeah,
I agree too. I think we help our business customers disrupt the competition.
Yeah.
We're providing a lot of great tools. Great. Last but not least, security is very important. So we continue to invest in state-of-the-art protections for our facilities and equipment, so your applications and your data are up to date. So we continue to innovate in security. So we have about 500 security engineers building the technology to keep our infrastructure safe. Because we are using the same assets in the same data center, we want to make sure that our data is safe, our technology is safe. So at the same time, we are protecting yours as well.
Okay, so maybe many people might want to know. Okay, so what kind of things can be done? Can be built on GCP? Can you give us some example?
Sure. So these are some of the different ways. Number one, analytics can be in areas of big data. So the use of analytics to multiply the benefits. So we have things like BigQuery, Dataflow, Data Lab that serve different data purposes. And if you're trying to get value out of your data, GCP will literally start delivering insights as soon as your team start using. So think about some of the ways that you're actually doing data warehousing now, data processing now, and how much time does it take you to generate data results, scanning results, and all this. These are the areas that we are very strong in analytics and big data. And secondly, data archiving. So data archiving. So because we have a lot of assets and a lot of data itself, so archiving data makes a lot of sense because the speed of this and the price of it is really reasonable. We'll talk more about them later. Thirdly, test development. GCP gives you access to some of the latest innovations in application platforms, reducing time to market. By reducing your time, your developers spend tweaking and babysitting infrastructure. So last but not least, very importantly, so most people actually use cloud for these high-value compute-intensive workloads. So example, rendering HPC, do you need to host your application for a short term but on burst demands or on demands that are unpredictable? So do you need 10,000 calls for 20 minutes or 2 hours and 20 minutes? So we are almost certain that we are your most cost-effective and performant option based on per minute pricing and unused discounts alone. So network is cornerstone of our cloud, and apps need low latency, high bandwidth, secure.
Yeah. So imagine if you have to serve the clients across the regions. Maybe today you might focus on a single countries, but imagine how can you grow without serving just one country, right? And today's we don't just focus on one countries or one city. The opportunity is worldwide. What you work here maybe in Singapore, in Malaysia, in Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia, it might work to the clients in the regional clients as well. So this is a solutions that can support your business because we have an extensive network across the world.
Right. So this network across the world gives you confidence that if you need to scale your business worldwide, you know that you are on the right platform. You don't have to do a lot of different configurations. You don't have to make a lot of adjustments because you know that with 78 locations, 33 countries, you can expand really easily.
Yeah, and that's actually all the Google services like YouTube, Maps, Search, they're running on the same infrastructures. So imagine your business is running on the exactly same infrastructures as YouTube or Maps or Search. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. And I think the last I know, we are the only data centers, we are the only company that link all our data centers together by fiber cable across Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. So what it means for you is very high redundancy. And if you need to replicate services across different regions, I think it is the fastest method you can go by fiber cable. Great. So now let's go to some product specifics of Google Cloud Platform. So compute in one form or another is the backbone of most cloud workloads. But there's no one size fits all, and Google offers and we offer industry-leading options across the entire range of solutions, which includes App Engine, Compute Engine, Container Engine. Let's talk more about them in the next few slides.
Okay.
So App Engine. It is our App Engine. It is our platform as a service. So what it does is that developers only need to deal with code and not infrastructure, and it is that simple. So there are front-end load balancers, web servers, application servers, and your data store. So scaling up as load increases and down to zero when idle. This is what Google takes care if you use App Engine. So our biggest customer today, they started with a single developer and single app. So as they grew, App Engine handled their scale for them. So if you feel that your business, you do not have a lot of you do not have a big infrastructure team, then this probably will be a good option for you. So Compute Engine.
Yeah, what is exactly Compute Engines?
So Compute Engine, Google Compute Engine is our infrastructure as a service. So it is our virtual machine offering, VMs.
So you mean we have the developers have to build their system, like are installing the VM, installing the database, installing the runtime, everything by themselves?
If they want, they can do it.
Okay.
Great. So why is this offering, given that the first offering is actually so fantastic? Because we understand that there is no one size fits all, and that some users want choice of OS, portal code, or like their own deployment tools, or web servers, or their database preferences. So if you have a lot of these different preferences, then you can probably just host them on our infrastructure. So in GC, you get complete flexibility, and with that, it is now actually our fastest growing platform. And there are a lot of innovations happening in our VMs as well. So recently we launched something we call the preamble VMs that lets you run workloads that you care about. They are not time-sensitive workloads at a really low cost. So this slide is very interesting. I think it will be very crucial for a lot of business users, business customers. So this is the result of technology and pricing's review. So the numbers you see here, the percentages you see here are the typical type of savings that you can get if you run your systems on us compared to other competing clouds. And this was a source previously by ESG. So running on us, if you're a small startup or development and production team, running on us can save you up to 88% if things are customized the right way. So apart from cost savings, maybe we can think further than that. Think about how these savings can be used to help you to disrupt your competition even more. How much more you can invest in your analytics, machine learnings, to make sure that you really stand out from the crowd.
Okay. Well, so we have understand about a lot of things, like, okay, what is Google Cloud, and what are the key components like App Engines and Compute Engines. Now, you might have not heard about Container Engines, or some developers might have heard about Container Engines, and how does it fit into the pictures? Okay. So I just want to give a brief introduction of what is Container Engines. This is where the revolution is going on. So as Edison has mentioned just now about the VMs, okay, those VMs, it's good. So it helps utilize the hardware resources better, okay. But the containers is bring to the next level, okay. In Container Engines, the app portability across container OS, okay, and it's very easy for you to copy the same containers and run on different platforms, okay. So as for the developers, it's very easy for you to run the test or development environment, okay. And for the For the IT people, the operational people, it's very easy. Just install the package and it can run right away. You don't have to worry about the underlying dependency. Okay, so in Google, container is at the heart of our operations. Okay, we have been working on containers way back. I think it's more than even 5 or 10 years back. Okay, so all of the service that run in Google, we runs on containers. Okay, and every week we launch over 2 billion containers per week. Okay, container is something that we have been working internally for quite a while. Okay, and okay, so containers is actually orchestrated by the software called Kubernetes. Okay, Kubernetes is an open source container orchestrations. So it's decide which location, which OS the container has to run on. Okay, automatically. Okay, and we are the key supporters of this Kubernetes communities. Okay, so you can run this Kubernetes on multi-cloud or hybrid cloud between private and public cloud as well. Okay, yeah, and container engine is based on this Kubernetes. It's a fully managed and hosted Kubernetes. Okay, so the background of container engines is simply the Kubernetes. Okay, so just give you a quick overview of how does the containers works. Okay, let's take a look at the graph on the top right corners. Okay, in a normal VM environment, okay, you have the OS with different versions. Okay, and it packaged the dependencies there. Okay, so imagine the top right corners, the figures. There are going to be a lot of overhead in your environment. Okay, there might be some dependency that actually doesn't relate with your applications, but it linked with your OS. So that's why it needs to be there in your VM. Okay, but in a container, okay, it's very simple, just like the names, it's containers. So the dependencies is already included in each containers, and we have the apps code coming into the box there. Okay, so whenever you launch this container into different environment, you don't have to worry about the other dependencies. Okay, it's already packaged there. So it's very fast to deploy. Okay, and very efficient. Okay, we plan to do some more of the further detail, the technical details of the containers in the next few webinars. So if you're interested to learn more about containers, stay tuned. We'll come back with more events for you. All right. So now this is an interesting part. It's the key of this webinars. So we want to talk about the data, okay? Because right now we see a lot of data that going on there in the internet. How can we utilize this data and make some useful insights out of it?
Yeah, so the final area of platform we're going to talk about is data. So do you guys actually know that there is a source from an IDC studies about data is incredible, numbers for year 2020. By year 2020, 3 things will happen. 1, 32 billion devices will be connected to the internet. So imagine the amount of data that's going to grow. Part 2, 10 times increase in data produced from 4 zettabytes to 45 zettabytes. Last but not least, 40% of the data will be touched by the cloud. And we all know that you're going to keep every piece of information, right? Because you can do it now. So developers' strong preference on apps, data models, and storage are block devices, blobs, files, SQL, NoSQL, and caching optimizations. So it's the reason why we offer a range of choices from ourselves and our partners. So internally, we depend on reliable and fast performance. Now our cloud users can enjoy the same benefits. So at the same time, when we do this, we want to help you to create more opportunities for yourself and areas that you can think about. And to think about it, Data is really only very powerful when you have tons of it and a lot of it that spans over a period of time. But at the same time, how do we ensure that all this information is available when I need it, that at a cost that's affordable? So people today have different choices to archive data, put it in very raw cold storage. You put in tapes, or you put in some way equivalent like Amazon Glacier, slow, cumbersome, but really cheap, or online disk, fast, more expensive than tapes. So you have to decide, right? First, you often have data that you know are likely that you're unlikely to need, but if you did need it, you couldn't afford to wait hours for retrieval, so you pay extra to keep it online just in case. So there is a lot of planning involved. So we answer this challenge inside Google with Google Cloud Storage Nearline. It is our offering in a cost effectiveness of cold storage with performance and ease of use online, high durable storage. So it is very cost effective at 1 cent per gigabyte per month, and only takes you seconds to reach your first byte. So is it online? Not really. Is it offline? Not really. So it's somewhere in between, but gives you the best of the everything for long-term storage. So GCP is brought with a lot of services, exposing capabilities via REST, CLI, console. So we have a lot of things out there. So it's time to understand typical big data processing. So if you look at this pie chart, there are 8 things about big data processing. So before this webinar, or while you're doing big data processing, you might know that you have to manage somehow in these 8 ways to learn about how you're going to do your big data processing. So how about coming on to us means that you actually focus more on programming. So we realized this ourselves at Google 7 years ago. So we started developing systems that let us scale with your data growth, even if it explodes. And the data are managed so that you are not wasting time dealing with all of the underlying complexities. Number 3, or just generally looking at magically awesome, so you can get back to data insights and not data management. So let us look at 2 specific services. So this is Cloud Data Proc. What is it? So it is managed Spark Hadoop in the cloud. If you're doing Spark or Hadoop, you know that there's a lot of complexity in setting up infrastructure and making sure that you have enough infrastructure and optimizing time to make sure that time is efficiently spent. So we came up with this Cloud Data Proc so that you can do transient workloads in the cloud. So make sure that your Hadoop and Spark is really efficient right now.
Actually, last week we just announced Cloud Data Clock. It's now available for general availabilities. Okay, so it's now available that you can use without it's no longer in the beta phase. It's now GA.
Yeah. Great news. So next is BigQuery. BigQuery, we have been using BigQuery inside our organization for many years. So we've externalized this a while ago. So I want to briefly talk about why it matters to you and why it should matter to you. So BigQuery is our fully managed service that let you run queries of data against petabytes of data. So really important, there is no setup or database administrations required. So when you think about analyzing, you think a lot about setting up and database administration. So you don't have to do this in BigQuery, and you can ingest rows in 100,000 rows per second, and it scales automatically as your data grows. So you can stream to BigQuery from a variety of sources, includes your Google Analytics Premium, and you can make it possibly join your data business with your web traffic data. It can help you to match up data from different sources as long as you can stream it and import it inside. So it's really simple to use. You can integrate with a third-party software like Tableau, ClickView, or just need some of your team members who are skilled in writing SQL queries. That would be really that would be really sufficient for you to start using it. So while BigQuery makes it super easy to run queries, I want to talk about data flow. So that actually lets you build and run data processing pipelines, lets you data ingest, clean up, cross-form output. So data flow provisions and scales infrastructure for running the stages in parallel. So we have been using data flow ourselves in Google for many, many years, and we have open sourced it as well very recently.
Okay, so now let's do some demos. I will show you some demos on the BigQueries.
So we'll do a screen share.
Okay, so I think you can see my screen now. Okay. So first of all, so when we, this is the BigQuery console, right? So when you go into the BigQueries, it looks like this. And actually today we're gonna focus on this Wikipedia table. Okay. So in BigQueries, you can upload the tables, and this is the schema of the table. Okay, the details of the tables. The size is about this big, very big, 36 gigabytes. Okay, so now we're gonna take some, do some queries and get some insights out of this table. Okay, so I have I have saved the queries there. Let me take a look. Okay, so now you can see that this queries is simply similar to the SQL. Okay, so we're gonna count the number of items in the rows in this tables from this data table. Okay, so let's take a look how long this takes. Okay, within just 2 seconds. Okay, we can count the number of items in the rows here, and this is let me count 100,000, 10,000, million. This is like 17 billions.
Wow.
Okay, so within just 2 seconds, it can count up to 17 billions. Okay, this is how fast it can count. So let's get some more of this data. Let's say I want to get some. Let me show you here. This one. Let me explain to you what is this script about. Okay, so in this script, let me talk down. Okay, in this script, we want to see the group by the languages. Okay, and to see how many views of the page view are there for each languages. Okay, so if you have experience with the SQL, this is simply quite straightforward for you. Okay, and let's see how fast it can run for these queries. Okay, so here is the time that it runs. Okay, within 11 seconds, again, okay, 11 seconds, it can process this data out for me. So I can see the number of page view for the page with the language English, Japanese, German, Spanish. Okay, so it sorted out the data for me within just 11 seconds, just merely 12 seconds. Okay, so this is the power of big queries. It can run big data, large, huge volume of data in just a few seconds. This is the beauty of big queries. Imagine if you have to run this on your own computers, or you have to run this on your own cluster or something. That's gonna take minutes or even hours. Okay, but with the help of big queries, things just run in seconds. And moreover, you can run this in real time. We haven't talked about this in real time for these sessions because we just want to give you overview of what the data solutions that we have. But definitely in the next few webinars that's going to come up soon, we will go deep dive into the solutions of how can you actually implement the solution for big data. Yeah, I think that would be, I can give you some more example here. Sorry for this one is in Japanese, but I'll explain to you what is this script about. Okay, so basically this script, we want to look at the records. Okay, count the number of records for those that belong to the that has the language Japanese, and for that specific day, 23rd. Okay, so when we run these results, what will it look like? Okay, takes a few more seconds, I guess. Okay, within 11 seconds again. Okay, so it gives out the number of page views and details for those Japanese contents, okay, for this specific date, 23rd, okay, in just 11 seconds. See, okay, so this is a very nice tool to crunch out all the data that you have, all the repositories that you have, big repositories, and can be done within just a few seconds. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so that is the just give you a glance of what is big data. Okay. Now, so let's come back to towards the end of our webinars today. Okay. Okay. So we just today it's just to give you an overview of the GCP and just give you some sense of how the big queries works. Okay. So there's just only three things that we want to give you a heads up for now. Okay. So basically, our platform can provide you all kind of services. Okay, from hosting a normal website to build a great apps or to analyze the big data, everything, and we provide a global coverage. Okay, wherever your clients are, we can deliver the service to them, regardless of their geolocations.
Yeah. And full platform has got a lot of values in its own ways. So you may think that right now I may only require hosting needs. We've talked a lot about data and how good it is, but I don't need it now. But think about the future when you're going to talk about. I'm pretty sure that as you're expanding the business and you're finding innovations, you're going to think about how data is going to play an important part and how machine learning and how all these other things. So you want to be on the platform that has all these tools that are readily available, so that when you need them, you have them. And even though when you don't have them, but the things that you are using are still superior in their own ways. Yeah.
Yeah. And the next one is the leading infrastructures. So your service is running on our Google platform, the same as what we are providing to the consumer out there. Okay, and some of the features are not even available to other people, but you can use it because we externalize them. Okay, and the last one, the innovation platform, we always delivered a new innovations like machine learning, vision APIs, and focusing on those data analysis. Okay, like just now we see the data proc and data flow. So you focus more on what's matter to you, the data insights, the structure of your services, not the infrastructure that provide the support to the service. Okay, so it gives you more time to work on your business rather than the infrastructures. Okay, so we have come to the end of our webinars today, and it's great to have you all with us today. We'll hope that you enjoy the sessions, and we would love to hear back from you about the feedback from the sessions. I know this is the first time, and it might not be the best that we provide you out there, but we really want to understand what you like to us to improve on, or is there anything good that you like about it? Okay, so please feel free to go to our feedback form. It's goo.gl/capital H CV capital Q A capital Y. Okay, so really love to hear your feedback on what's the next topics that you want us to discuss for the next round. Okay, so please help give the feedback there, and we would love to bring your feedback on and deliver the customized content for you next time. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining us today. And actually, we are planning to run this deep dive into big data solutions next month on the 29th of March. Okay, so I think many of you guys has been following me on my G+. Okay, so I will keep posted on the next events in my T Plus. Okay, and also thank you very much for those who have been signing up from the email from the GBG managers and GDG managers in your own countries. So we'll definitely spread out the news of upcoming events through your communities managers. Okay, we really want to understand what is your needs and then how can we cater the content to what you expect. Okay. We are thinking of going more into technical details for next round. Okay, so you can understand what are the actual components in the big data solutions, or even how to build the machines on Google Cloud. Okay, or even the container engines and so on and so forth. Actually, in this time, I want to run some that kind of demos, but I'm not sure if that's going to be too much or too difficult for everyone. So for the first time, we just want to give you some glance of what is GCP, and feel free to give us feedback. We'll put that feedback into the next webinars. Okay, and if you guys might have noticed down there, we have YouTube channels. This is a global channels. Please go to search for Google Cloud Platform. Actually, we have a lot of good contents there. If you want to understand how each component of the Google Cloud works, we can visit the videos there in Google Cloud Platform YouTube channels. And we also have Twitters, okay, at Google Cloud. Okay, feel free to follow us there. And the last one, we have Google Cloud Platform Blogspot. Okay, most of the new contents and the updates about our products, the release, are provided there in those channels, bloggers as well. Okay, so if you have any questions regarding the GCP, feel free to chat to us. You can chat back to us, right? So just type in the chat, and then we will answer the questions right here. We have about 7 minutes here. Okay, so we have some questions here regarding, let me see, regarding the, okay, so there's a question, is the data safe from government agencies? Okay, so we actually, we have passed a lot of certificates regarding this cloud securities. So it depends on your requirements that because some governments, they require the providers to pass certain certificates. Okay, so we have the documents for that one. Let me have a look. It's going to be very into details. Okay, so just to give you, it's the link is cloud.google.com/securities. Okay, we have passed a lot of certification globally, so maybe you can check that out. I'm putting this in the chat. If you guys see this in the chat, you can check this out in the chat as well. Okay, let's see. So there are also questions about the security of the cloud. Okay, so every information that comes into our cloud, it is encrypted. Okay, so even though it's in the transit, it's between the node, the servers, when it comes before it comes to the data centers, they're all encrypted. Okay, so you can be sure that your data is safe with us. Okay, and also we replicate your data across different data centers to make sure that if anything happens to any data centers, your data will be still available in the other part of the world. Okay, so whatever you put it up on our cloud, it is replicated automatically. Okay, even there's some earthquake or fires happenings, your data will always be there on our data center somewhere in data centers. All right. Okay, so please give us the feedback at goo.gl/capital H C V capital Q A capital Y. Okay, we love to hear your feedback, and we want to improve this for the next webinars as well. Okay, so maybe some of you might have difficulties with the feedback form. We just fixed it. So could you please go in again? goo.gl/capital H C V capital Q A capital Y. Okay. Yeah. So thank you very much for joining our session today. Once you give the feedback, we will send you the presentation, the documents by this week. Okay. Yeah. So if I hope that today you have learned about GCP, how does it works, and what are the values of the GCP. I know it's just there are many things that need to be covered in the cloud solutions. So maybe next time we are focusing on the big data, because we believe that the big data is going to be the key growth engine for every companies. We are not just focusing on the infrastructure anymore. We want to understand what are the insights from the user activities on our business, right? So next time we're gonna focus on big data, and we are planning to do some more working into the technical details of what is actually the components to build the big data solutions. So today we provide you just a quick overview of the big queries, how fast it works. Okay, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact us back, or just contact me over my G+. I'm more than happy to help you, okay, over the G+. All right, so thank you so much for joining our session today. I hope you have a great day ahead, and feel free to get in touch with us, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for your time. We've enjoyed your presence here.
Thank you very much. See you next time.
Bye.